Hi, everyone. Jodie Bentley here, actor and CEO of Actor Insider and the Actor's Office. And I am really excited to be going live with you today on this rainy Monday here in Los Angeles, because I have a very special guest that I want to interview. I teach a lot, and you follow me here for content on branding, on marketing, on goal setting, right? On mindset. Like I teach a lot about that stuff. That's what I've been doing for 13, 14 years of my life. But I also really want to introduce you to people that I feel can support you, people who have amazing skill sets, people who are of integrity. And one of those women is one of my mentors, Patricia Angelin. I'm going to let her on here in a minute when she finds me here on the Instagram. So Patricia, Pat, is the founder of Alba Technique. I'm going to be reading her bio a little bit here, which is why I'm looking over here. Patricia is the first person in North America, actually, to be certified to the highest level of Alba Emoting International as both a professional actor and a master teacher. When I was living in New York City, I studied privately with her. Beginning in 1994, she studied directly with Susanna Block, following her from Chicago to San Diego, Paris to Chile, and hosting her in New York. For over a quarter of a century, she's been privately incorporating Alba Technique into both her acting and her work coaching other actors for stage, screen, and dance. Angelin has twice been invited to address the prestigious Voice Foundation in Philadelphia. Patricia holds two BA degrees, theater and music, and an MA degree in theatrical theory and criticism. She's a member of Actors Equity in both the US and Ireland. She's a member of SAG-AFTRA. She's performed all over the world, New York, LA, London, Vienna. She's a published author. She is the literary, I have to say this word right, literary executrix for the estate of renowned drama critic George G. Nathan, and also for his wife, actress Julie Hayden. So I am very excited to bring Patricia on to have a conversation about what she does. What the heck is Alba Technique? This might be the first time you're hearing about this. And how it can support you as an actor, as an artist, as a human. So I see that Patricia's here. I'm going to bring her on. Try to do that, never on the first. So we will, yeah, no, it didn't work. Hold on, we're going to try again. Everybody, hold the phone. This always happens to me. Oh, there we go.
Yay!
There we go. I think I'm just naturally impatient that I just want it to happen fast. But whenever I try to go live with someone, it always takes like the third time for me to click a button. But anyway,
Absolutely.
alas.
And I was naive enough to think that the Zoom call that you and I were just on was it. And that was it. And then I had to go, oh my gosh, where's my Instagram? Where's Actor Insider? Oh, there's Actor
There
Insider.
it is.
There's Jodie. My goodness. So my emotional intelligence was really needed so that my anxiety level didn't creep up, and the voice creeps up. You know how when you're getting anxious, it gets in the chest and you're not getting the breath out and you're not getting enough breath in.
Everyone breathe. So everyone here who's watching, let's just everyone take a deep breath in. And let it out. And I'm so excited that you are all here to meet Patricia Angelin, to chat with Patricia about what she does. And so I just want to reiterate that these Instagram lives are all about you. So please, if you have any questions, post them in the comments. Patricia's here to answer those for you. But I'm going to start with one. So Pat, I just want to say, obviously you're an experienced actor across all medium. And you've been an actor for a long time. How do you, because this is a question that comes up, with a lot of my clients and even myself as an artist, how do you ground yourself to show up when the shit's hitting the fan in your personal life, when nothing is going how you expect it to be? How do you ground yourself to show up to be that spontaneous, open, free artist that we get to be?
Yeah, that we get to be, so that we can have the sense of play. And act, but have it be real and have it be authentic and be completely in ourselves. Well, I've recently developed something that I would never have shared with you before, which is called the 12 breaths.
Okay.
You know, the breath and, you know, and breathe and all of that. We've always known, you know, all our old acting teachers, breathe, breathe, take a deep breath in. But if you notice, everybody, if you start to look, you'll see that everybody takes that in breath and that out breath differently. There is no such thing as just the breath.
Yeah.
So what I do to ground myself now, which I've been experimenting with my students at Alba Technique, is the 12 breaths. And so it's 3, 3, 3, and 3, making up 12. And so the first one is really, really simple. It's just in through the nose and out through the mouth. And, you know, you can, you know, do this in a banquet at a restaurant. You know, you can be jockeying yourself around, but it's the internal intent that you're going to bring your own attention back to your breathing and get it deeper. So, you know, in through the nose. That can be an out breath. Blubber lips. In through the nose. And I'm just moving around. I'm stretching a little bit out through my mouth. Oh, that went out through the lower part of my mouth. Okay, fine. In through the nose. I'm gonna stretch out through the mouth. And then I add the discipline of the tongue, which is a qigong thing. And you take the tip of your tongue and you put it to the roof of your mouth on the inhale through the nose. And then you drop that tongue to the very floor of the mouth. You as a singer would understand the uses of this. Drop to the very floor of the mouth on the out breath through the mouth. So we add that. That's the second 3. So let's do that. In through the nose, tongue up. Two. 3. And for the next 3, we shut the eyes and continue to assess inner self with the tongue going up in the inhale and down in the exhale. So let's start. Tongue up in the inhale. Tongue up on the inhale. Down on the exhale. In on the inhale. Down on the exhale. And you can be gently moving here. And then you open your eyes. Continue the discipline of the tongue for the last 3. Eyes on the horizon line. And you're centered in your sits bones and elongated up and into the floor with the feet on the ground. Last 3. And 3. So that is how I would ground myself most quickly now in pretty much any situation. Because by the time you finish those 12 in and out breaths with those specific things and those tools that you're doing, you're just, don't you feel more grounded?
Yes.
Your eyes look different, Jodie. Your eyes are more alert, more beautifully your eyes. And you have, it's like you just applied a little bit of blush and a little bit of dew to here. You know, I'm so old, guys, that this doesn't work in the same way with me as it does with Jodie. But but that would be a really simple grounding tool that I've been developing. The 12 breaths that we give that to all of you who are listening for gratis, so that you can ground yourself. At Alba Technique, I really believe that all the emotions are good. There is no such thing.
Can you explain, Pat, what Alba Technique is before we go into just because I think the audience might not know exactly what it is, what it entails. Can you explain what that is?
I can try, Jodie. I mean, you know, we're trying to explain this I've been working with the late, not the late, but she's in Chile, retired now, Susanna Bloch, who was the lead researcher in all the studies in Chile and in America and ending up at the CNRS in Paris over about a 20-year period. So there's a lot of neuro research. And this does, you know, it is neuro research. And what they did was they identified, you can't say invented, you know, I mean, emotions can't be invented.
Right.
But they did identify and specify what happens in the body patterning. It's very chic right now to talk about patterns and look for patterns in the universe. Well, these are the patterns that our limbic part of our brain create that actually, and this is proven, this is not, when the researchers were doing this was far from proven. They weren't going for a result. They were simply investigating what happens with human emotion, and they identified 6 neurologically basic standard patterning that happens in the full body from the top of the head to the tip of the fingers to the soles of the feet that actually produce what we think of as emotion, which is connotative for us as actors. It's really kind of counterintuitive, but the fMRI brain studies prove that it's true, that emotion is physical. It is not mental. The brain gets involved, of course. But it's not what we used to think it was. It's not what the 20th century acting modalities teach us. All of those exercises that we did with Strasberg exercise and Adler exercises and Meisner exercises, which are still quite popular, they're really good. They're really good for our discipline. But this work that I do gives a foundation to your emotions, so that you get to know yourself, because we're all so utterly different. The emotions themselves may be the same in Borneo as in Belgium, and you know, be cross-cultural and not having anything to do with how old we are or young or anything like that. But through the process of going in and out of the effector patterns, what I do basically is deconstruct, rewire the body of your house electrically, connectively. So it's a connectivity modality, wherein you and I figure out what your connectivity is, what your habits are, what your blocks are, what your body says, no, no more of that, no more of that, not going to cry on cue, can't do that, can't do that. Or I can't be really angry in this scene because I always cry when I'm angry. Whereas you know that this character is definitely not a crier. Playing. So we need to have the full range of our emotions as actors. We need to be able to control them. We need to have them be real, authentic, and absolutely present, unique each take. That's what we need. So this is, I like to say, this is so simple. It's so simple. The biochemicals get released no matter what. Which ones? You know, if we're in a constant state of anxiety, oh my gosh, Jodie, I mean, we've known this in ourselves, especially since post-COVID. And that means that we're gaining weight around our middle because we have cortisol drops from all of the anxiety. This is from the limbic system. This is emotional. There are things we can do about that, but it's all good information. That's why I say all the emotions are good. We can get a little bit of fear, and a little bit of fear, it can kick us in the ass to get moving, you know, to start working with Jodie Bentley, get to that business thing. Oh my gosh, I can't do business. And Jodie says, yes, you can do business, and I will teach you. Come, grab your shield, grab your sword, let's go.
I love it.
Now relax and ground yourself, and don't be so hard on yourself. You know, all the
right. Do the 12 breaths. Ground yourself.
Yeah, ground yourself, 12 breaths. So, I know that doesn't answer it. The difficulty is that there's no way that I could give you articles to read. I mean, they could go to the first blog post that I did for you years ago that was, do you want to cry on cue? I could, you know, give access to you guys to the article I wrote in the American Actor on this. I mean, there are things you could read, but until it's the most experiential thing I've ever done. It's different from any other training I've ever done. And by the time I came to this in 1994, 30 years, come June, Jodie.
Wow.
30 years. And I was just an actor doing it. I came on it by accident. I had no expectation of it. And I was what the subject. So I'm actually in the literature with the experience I had for my first time.
Right. I say Elizabeth Ness is here. Hi, Elizabeth. She said it's amazing. She loved it.
Oh, the woman. Yes.
So I'm going to to talk about my experience with Alba in a second, but you mentioned one thing as you were describing stuff, and I think it could warrant some clarity for people who are listening. You mentioned effector pattern. Can you explain what that is for people?
I'd have to go back to my literature, because it doesn't mean what we would think as actors that it means, that it effects the change in the affect, which means emotions. The affect is the emotions, and effect is a thing that happens.
Yeah.
It has a neurological meaning that I honestly forget right now, but that is what the patterning is called by the neuroscientists. Okay. And Alba emoting is the wonderful emotional name that Susanna Block gave to it. Alba meaning, fair and white and unadulterated and pure, but also it means aurora, the dawn, on a more philosophical level, what is coming into being. And in Chilean Spanish, interestingly enough, it means revolution. So this is a revolutionary emotional modality. And so she took Alba because she wanted one Spanish word and one English word and put emoting. And at the time that I came into it in 94, people would hear the word emoting and they would think, over the top.
Right.
You don't emote. No. Never emote. You don't play an emotion, But when you get really good at this, you're not playing the emotion, although you can use it as a tool to take a script apart. You can take a script apart by emotions. It's very, very, it's been done. It's incredibly powerful when you do it. You mix them and it's all good, but it's so purely experiential that you and you've done it, I've been doing it forever, as an actor. And then I was asked to teach. And at first I said, no, I won't teach it. I said, I won't. And the young man said, why not? I said, whoa, that's an interesting question. Usually you're so open and like giving and everything. Why are you like holding this to you and saying, no, you won't give it to other people? I said, oh, ignominious. I wanted it to be mine. Secret. Isn't that awful? Not that Jodie knows. And then I thought, yeah, but there's also, I don't trust that people are going to be willing to commit. I didn't trust that millennials, because this was like 2011, that millennials would be willing to commit to long enough to learn it, because it's simple, but it's not easy to get to know yourself on the limbic level.
Right.
Fine. It's not like a lot of the things we want to do. Oh, I want to just take a little of this and a little of that and a little of that, and that's my technique. Well, this can get to be that way for a person. It certainly is for me. Why I said it's foundational. It doesn't take away any of the other good work you did, but it gives you access to the full range of yourself and what you can make more abundant, make less abundant, and if you're doing character work like I've always done, it's really helpful, really, really helpful. Does that help? Did I answer the question?
Sure. Yes. Well, I remember when I came to the work a long time ago. It was before I moved to Los Angeles. So I want to say maybe 12 years ago now, 13 years ago. It was really interesting to break it down to 6 core emotions and go, okay. And then you guiding us right in class through those patterns to elicit those emotions, and realizing the blocks that I had, as you're talking about, where I could not go to anger. I would not allow myself to go to anger. Now I can. So everyone beware, I can go to anger now. Now I can. But that was a huge block for me. I was always taught don't rock the boat, keep everything nice, right? And that's how I grew up. So it was really fascinating to be able to tap into that emotion and express that emotion in a safe environment, and know that I could do that. And I could tap into it, and that emotion was accessible to me. I had been blocking it. So that was really lovely for me. And then the other thing was the crying, the sadness, right? Like I have no problem. Like I'll turn this camera off and go cry in my corner when we're done. Like I have no problem crying. You know what I mean? But when I was on set, there was something that wasn't allowing me to do it. In an audition, there was something that wasn't allowing me to do it, whether I was watching myself or worried about something or trying to impress, but whatever it was. But working with you on the crying, right after that, I booked a film, and I this story, but I think I had to do like 20 takes, and it was cry after cry after cry after cry after
Yeah,
cry. And I was able to do it. And I was,
you were able to do it. And if you remember when that was, it was right after you moved to LA.
yes,
And
yes,
so the tensions that would normally be, you just moved to Crips.
right.
You just changed cities. You didn't, you didn't know what shoe was going to drop next. And you get this role and you have to do take after take after take of what, I don't remember what your script said, but like she breaks down,
Right.
or she becomes a puddle on the floor, whatever the crazy writers tell us to do. And, I remember calling me and saying, Pat, I did it. And I said, oh, how wonderful you did.
Oop, I lost your audio there, Pat.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
We'll bring her back. We'll bring her back.
Oh. Hold for technical
Sorry
difficulties.
Technical pause for technical difficulties. So we should be okay now. Are we okay now? I mean, I know you're only seeing part of my face because I'm hand holding now. But you had to do, I thought it was 17 takes, 17, 20.
I don't remember. It was a lot of takes. It was a lot.
And you were so thrilled because you were able to do it. You were able to drop it in between so you didn't get overtired. It was slightly different each time, but the director had a pick of what kind of crying, what kind of sadness you could do. Mm-hmm. And you did it. And they were asking you things like, oh, do you need a little time? Can we get you a chair? We can get you a chair. Would you like to go and sit in the trailer? And you're like, yeah, I'm fine. No, I'm good. Yeah.
I remember the little girl who played my daughter. She was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm good. I'm good. I'm good."
Yeah, and you were fine, and you did take after take after take, and they were practically bowing to you when they left.
God. Well, it was just so lovely to have that to fall back on and understand how to use it and be able to use it.
Yeah.
And to give the freedom on set of not like, oh, I hope I do it. I got to force this thing to happen, and it's allowing it to happen. Yeah. And that's what I love about Alba is it's allowing, right? It's allowing what's already there to come out, not trying to force something on top to generate a result.
Yes. And through the process, one learns how to allow and how to trust the body and how to trust yourself. And you just get to know yourself so well that you're wildly flexible and versatile. So that loops around to the question, of how do you ground yourself, when shit is hitting the fan in everyday life. I mean, I just had major eye surgery, and we didn't know whether I was going to be able to see out of my left eye. So that is shit hitting the fan. Sure. And the recovery has been truly draconian, and I use my word advisedly. And because I even used Alba Technique, because Alba emoting is a little bit Pavlovian, like Pavlov's dog, but the way I teach it and the way I've developed it for us as artists, it helps the whole person. Yeah. So I was utilizing the Alba work to assist me in the tremendous depression I had, having to have my eyes down and my face downward toward the floor for the first 48 hours, absolutely without moving. Yeah. And then for the next 6 weeks, I mean, this was tough. Yeah. And because of the body posturing and everything, any human being would become depressed. Sure. So I was able to manage the natural things that were happening because of my body knowledge of myself and what was normal for myself. And I kept myself from spiraling into depression and anxiety because of it. So it works for us as women and men as well as for us as artists. And our bodies and our minds are our tools. So the more we get, this is probably not the word I want, but I'll use it because I thought it. We want to get a grip on this stuff. I mean, but we don't. First, we get a grip, and then we don't hold it too tightly.
Right. Get a grip, but don't squeeze it so hard.
Yeah, don't hold on to it. Let it go. Because what it does is it rewires us so that we regain what we came into the world with. You have a 5-month-old and they are responding to stimuli and only to stimuli. They don't have the complicated brains we grown-ups have. Everything is not all mixed up yet.
Yeah.
If they're sad, they're sad. They
Sure.
cry. If they're mad, they're mad. If they are afraid, they're afraid, and you can really read it. And most of the time, they're erotic. They come into the world through erotic, through eros, and the sexual aspect. But the little babies, if you think about it, the eyes are wide, and the little mouths, you know, they're just sponges to the world. And that's the creative part of ourself too. So if we're exploring our script, we need each one of these different emotions, even if the emotions aren't in the script directly. So it gives tremendous flexibility as well. It's just, the longer I do it, the more I love it.
I love it. Well, for those of you just tuning in, I've been chatting with Pat Angelin. I will be making this, I'll be sharing this to my Instagram once we're done. So if you're just tuning in now, because we're going to be wrapping it up soon, you can go back and watch it. But we're talking about Alba Technique. And if you want more information on this, Pat's website is albatechnique.com. So please go there, check it out. Email, I'm sure, Pat, if people have questions about your upcoming classes or whatever, they can email you about all of that. And what's your Instagram for people to follow as well? Is it Alba Technique?
Real simple, at Alba Technique.
Great. And
that's pretty simple. And there is a weekend intensive. I just finished one in which, Jodie, I started the first heart study. First heart study with a doctor who's now taking this.
Oh, wow.
So we're gonna design a study around what the good and the benefits of Alba emoting emotional effector patterns for the heart.
Wow, how lovely.
So that's going to be really fun. And that was this last weekend. We got the first data. So I may be calling you later and saying, would you like to be another test subject as an adept? And there is, I think it's the 23rd and 24th of March in New York would be the next weekend. And then there are, ongoing classes on Tuesdays, also in New York. I'm sorry for you LA guys. And no, there's nobody who does this in New York, in LA yet. I was coming for a while, but health problems a good friend of me from coming to. So you're going to have to come to me in New York, or if you can figure it out, come to Ireland. That's the gold standard now, because you're living it, breathing it, doing it for a solid week.
And when
at the National Opera House.
When is the event in Ireland?
The event in Ireland is the last week of July. It starts on, I think it starts Thursday, the 25th of July, and ends Wednesday, the 31st of July. And it's the perfect environment to have teachable moments for the body. We work on the beach that Steven Spielberg used to film Saving Private Ryan, to stand in for D-Day. We do some of our work on the beach. And the National Opera House is a beautiful space with this, Jane Austen-esque cityscape of everything's like 3 stories high. And then you look out on the harbor and you're looking out on the Irish Sea toward England, and it's pretty wonderful.
I love it. Before we wrap up, because I know you mentioned at the top when we were talking about grounding yourself, and you mentioned the word Qigong. And I would love for you to explain what that is for people, because I know, when I did the Alba work with you, we'd always warm up doing that. It was part of what we did. It was just part of the process, the grounding process even. So if you could explain what that is, because you do teach those classes in just Qigong as well, yes?
I do now. And after a lot of experiment as to what was going to be best with people that I should use from my grandmaster, who's extremely elderly now, Effie Pao Yu Chao. And we do a seated Qigong every Monday. I finished it just before I started this live. And it's because it's on Zoom, people can come. Yeah. But I think people look at the website, Jodie, and they go, well, why would I want to do Qigong? I already do a lot of yoga, or I already do. Well, I use this ancient, one of the exercises and a meditation on the 5 traditional Chinese medicine elements, which are different than the Western elements. And it is the first breathing. I now call it the first breathing of Alba Technique. And it lasts 1 hour it's 9 a.m. LA time and noon every single Monday. And we do it on Zoom. But it's a gateway to, it's like a gateway drug. No, I shouldn't say that. But it teaches you a first breathing, because all of the Alba emoting emotional effector pattern breaths are wildly different, as you know.
Yes.
They're very, very, very specific. One has to learn them, and but the Qigong breath is different still. So it's the seventh breath. I've never said that out loud before until just this minute. But there are 6 emotional effector pattern breaths. There is the neutral breath. And I can guarantee you that unless people have worked with me who are on this call, they do not know when they're neutral. Remember how long it takes to find your baseline, to find your neutral? Yeah. And of course, that's when you know whether you're grounded, when you can be unemotional. Actors say to me, why would I want to be unemotional? I'm an actor. I want to be emotional all the time. Well, we are designed for that. We're designed to be emotional all the time. But at any rate, so the Qigong, it looks like, why would I need that? But you need that. Try it. It's dirt cheap. It's like taking a dance class. And I think I asked my assistants to give people, like, it's $25 normally. I asked them to, give $10 off or something, just so that people could try it. Get used to me, decide if they like me, and if they can get to New York or can get to Ireland, or in the future, probably UK as well. I love it. Denmark. It's beginning to expand.
I love it.
So.
Yeah, so that is something anyone can do. So on the Zoom, and I'll be posting something. I'll put it in here on the replay as well. But and you said you're giving all of my people $10 off. So how amazing! So $15 for a class to take some Qigong on a Monday to get grounded and learn more about how this emotional work can help you as an artist, but also help your emotional intelligence as a human, right?
Yeah. And it brings you to higher mind, so that all of your human faculties are more available to you. Yeah. So people have done wonderful things on Monday afternoons in auditions after having just taken 1 hour Zoom, that they didn't realize that they would, have that particular kind of opening of mind. It's pretty wonderful.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, Elizabeth says it's so useful. She says 100%. John here says a heart. Elizabeth says, I have to run to a meeting, but adore you both. So excited that more people are learning more about the incredible work you do. Yes, Pat. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Yeah, John took the circuit. Pardon me. John took the circuit this morning and the Qigong after it. So he's already spent 2 hours with me, and then stayed as long with us today as we could.
I love it. I love it. All right, everyone. So please go to albatechnique.com. I really invite you to take the Qigong class again. Mention my name, Actor Insider, or Jodie Bentley, whatever. You'll get $10 off of that, just to start some of this work with Pat. It was really game-changing for me when I did it, 13, 14 years ago, whenever it was, and I still use pieces of it all the time.
Yeah, it never leaves you.
Yeah.
It never leaves. It becomes foundational to everything else wonderful that you're doing. Yeah. And you don't lose any of it over time. You only gain. So thank you so much, Jodie.
Of course. Thank you for coming on and sharing yourself, your gifts, your work with all of us. I really appreciate you. So have a lovely, thank you. Have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.